It's Wednesday, December 3rd. In the headlines, Jamaica targets up to $20 million in climate funding following COP30 talks. In business news, Master Builder Association wants to be part of national rebuilding plans. Regionally, CARICOM Impacts and CARFA launch roadmap to curb gun violence. In sports, Mount Pleasant makes history with a Caribbean Cup triumph. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Fiscal Williams, says suspension of Jamaica's fiscal rules will give the government the flexibility needed to carry out critical recovery and reconstruction efforts following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. Speaking in Parliament on Tuesday, Minister Williams said data presented by various agencies verified that the hurricane's economic impact is at least 1.5% of GDP, the legal threshold required to trigger a suspension of the fiscal rules.
As such, the order which we will take today, subject to affirmative resolution, will permit the fiscal rules to be temporarily suspended for at least an initial period of 1 year. This is how the law states it. If it warrants an extension, then the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service will present the case.
The minister said this temporary suspension will allow the administration the space it needs to fund reconstruction while maintaining economic stability.
I know that Minister Samuda is ready for that water and sewage distribution system to accommodate massive tourism growth, increase in the quantity of reliable water to Jamaican households and our agricultural sector. I'm sure all of us who have traveled to Western Jamaica noted that the highways have stood up, and Prime Minister is ready to continue creating our resilient road network and digital infrastructure with access to affordable broadband so that our schools and our homes, our schools can be fully equipped.
The Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, is keeping a close watch on the temporary billing relief measures announced by major utility companies in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. The regulator said that within a week of the hurricane's impact on October 28, it wrote to all major utility providers, requesting details on how they intended to address customers' billing concerns, both immediately and in the months ahead. Similar correspondence was also sent to private operators that provide water and sewage services to small customer bases. The OUR says the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, has advised that it will suspend service disconnections and late payment fees until December 15, 2025, and will offer flexible payment arrangements for its Rate 10 residential and Rate 20 general service customers needing additional assistance. Meanwhile, the National Water Commission has indicated that it will halt billing in the hardest hit communities starting in December until water service has been restored. The NWC will also review November's estimated bills for customers who have been without service since the hurricane and has extended its micro, small and medium enterprises amnesty program until December 31. The OUR will continue to monitor the rollout of these relief measures to ensure customers receive the support promised. On Tuesday, Water, Environment and Climate Change Minister Matthew Samuda gave a report to Parliament on Jamaica's participation in COP30, held November 10 to 21, 2025 in Brazil. The conference, centered on delivering climate justice, addressed issues such as adaptation, resilience, climate finance, loss and damage, and the needs of small island developing states. Led by the minister and supported by Ambassador Dale Webber and other officials, Jamaica's delegation advocated for the country's climate priorities, especially following the widespread devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa.
And they really were looking at what you'd expect, including microgrids, power solutions for water systems, solar power generators, solar panels, and certainly increased water storage. The two modalities that the CIF have include the Clean Technology Fund, which offers clean technology for rapid solutions. The emphasis for Jamaica was on the energy for the water sector, and US $50 million has been made available by the CIF through the World Bank as a part of the World Bank's envelope at highly concessional rates.
The delegation held several key bilateral meetings with major climate financing institutions, including the Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage, the Green Climate Fund, and the Caribbean Development Bank, the IADB, and others.
These meetings were highly successful. They have agreed to come on that working visit, and they have indicated in writing that they will be minded to support Jamaica's application for $20 million, which is the maximum allowable by country, from the fund, and we'll be submitting on December 15.
Minister Samuda says countries can access between $5 to $20 million for up to 2 projects. Jamaica signaled its intent to submit 2 proposals, one for government budgetary support and another through an accredited entity, JSIF or DBJ, targeting the water and agriculture sectors. The FRLD also agreed to send its executive director to Jamaica for a mission. Tax Administration Jamaica says technical difficulties continue to affect the processing of same-day driver's licenses. In a media release, the agency explains that the disruption follows a recent scheduled maintenance exercise that has impacted all tax offices, affecting both new license applications and renewals. TAJ notes, however, that all other services, including tax payments and motor vehicle-related transactions, remain fully available. Motorists are being advised to submit a completed driver's license application form and an uncertified passport-size photograph, along with their payment receipt, whether paid in office or online, to facilitate processing. TAJ says that during this period, motorists will be allowed to operate a motor vehicle using their received and expired driver's license for up to 60 days. The agency says customers will be notified once their printed driver's license is ready for collection. Jamaica's heritage isn't just found in old buildings or artifacts. It's alive in our music, food, stories, and the everyday spirit of our people. A news feature from the Jamaica Information Service explores how our built and intangible heritage shape our identity, fuel our resilience, and guide the next generation.
Our heritage, as one cultural expert puts it, is more than just old buildings or historical relics from the past. It is the living, breathing essence of who we are as a people. It is found in the customs we keep, the stories and the rhythms of our daily lives, shaped by past generations and guiding those yet to come.
In the Caribbean, we oftentimes see that past as something that, oh, bad things happen, but there's really good stuff. And if you go back even further, especially when it comes down to our food, it's even better stuff. So it's important in terms of our identity. But the other facet of it is that when you think about who you are, you also have to think about where am I going? Because in many respects, who you were informs what am I going to do next.
From the sunken ruins of Port Royal to the haunting beauty of Rose Hall, Jamaica's built heritage tells stories of endurance and rebirth. Monuments like Sam Sharp Square, Emancipation Park, and the birthplaces of icons such as Bob Marley and Claude McKay stand not only as reminders of our past, but as symbols of national pride and possibility.
Our built monuments are testament of where we're coming from, but they also say to us what it is that we can be.
Beyond stone and mortar lies Jamaica's intangible heritage, the cultural heartbeat that cannot be seen but is deeply felt. It lives in the rhythms of reggae, ska, and mento, in the proverbs of our elders, and in the oral traditions that connect generations.
Our proverbs, one of my favorite remains one cocoa full basket. And I use this one regularly, sometimes with even some of my students. Chicken Mary Heart in there, exam is just around the corner.
Even in the face of natural disasters, that spirit shines through in the music born out of struggle, from Hurricane Gilbert to more recently, Hurricane Melissa, reminding us that resilience is part of who we are. And then there's the food, a delicious symbol of how heritage is both tangible and intangible.
Some of us were formally trained in terms of cooking, but cooking and replicating those things, it came with a store of stories. I would stay in the kitchen with my aunt and chat, learning things from her, but watching what it is that she's doing, looking at the herbs, looking at the spices. So certainly cooking, and there's oral tradition part of it, and there's of course the very tangible thing, the eponymous Dutch pot or the Dutchie that we use to cook our food.
And above all, our resilience.
It is not uncommon to hear how strong we are under pressure, how well we do in other countries. So our intangible heritage is also that will to survive and to succeed above all.
Preserving that spirit means ensuring future generations know where they come from.
It is extremely important to pass heritage down to the next generation, because we want to ground our children, our grandchildren. We want them to remember who they are. In this world nowadays where everything is we're saturated with information coming from abroad, it's very easy to get caught up in other people's heritage and other people's culture. And so we have to make a more concerted effort to say, this is who we are, this is what we stand for, this is where we are going.
In the end, it is a message of pride and purpose.
I really hope that we get to learn a little bit more about who we are so that we can protect just that, who we are.
Jamaica's heritage endures in laughter, strength, and the spirit of its people. So, let's keep the flame alive. Future generations are depending on it.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Following the government's decision to import 5,000 container houses, the Incorporated Master Builders Association of Jamaica is urging that Jamaican contractors be involved in the rebuilding and repair of the more than 100,000 houses which were damaged by Hurricane Melissa. Master Builders President Richard Mullings told RJR News that they want the government to adopt a two-pronged strategy which would include Jamaican contractors who are capable of building affordable concrete units. Mullings wants the government to use all the resources available at the country's disposal in response to this mammoth task. Speaking on Power 106 FM, the Development Bank of Jamaica Managing Director Dr. David Lowe said the institution is innovating, particularly around its $10 billion M5 Business Recovery Program to ensure that MSMEs can more easily access financing. Dr. Lowe explained that while the DBJ provides funds to approved financial institutions, including commercial banks, merchant banks, and credit unions, it has limited control over how these institutions on-lend the money to MSME clients. Under the M5 program, $3 billion will be available over 3 years to support MSME cash flow needs, while another $7 billion will go toward rehabilitating damaged plant, machinery, and other infrastructure following Hurricane Melissa. Dr. Lowe says improving the flow of these funds to MSMEs is critical to accelerating national recovery. For the trading period ending December 2, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited with 7,318,215 units representing 41.37% of market sales volume. Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 4,317,217 units representing 24.41% of market sales volume. QWI Investments Limited with 806,775 units representing 4.56% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On December 2, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $66.94 million purchased and US $107.24 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.78 per dollar, selling the US at $159.37 and buying the US at $161.15. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $1.81 per transaction, with selling at $114.08 and buying at $112.27. The British pound yielded Forex traders $2.19 in profits, with selling at $209.44 and buying at $211.63. For our credit report tip of the day, in times when borrowing becomes more costly and financial institutions raise their standards, small business owners must shift from reaction mode to preparation mode. This environment isn't a setback. It's a signal to sharpen your financial structure, strengthen your credibility, and position your business to stand out while others scramble. With the right strategy, you can stay competitive, protect your cash flow, and move forward even when credit markets tighten. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, there has been a major step in the region's fight against gun violence. CARICOM Impacts, working with CARFA, has launched a new report outlining how illicit firearms are impacting public health and the evidence-based policies needed to address it. At the launch, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander pledged firm action to confront gun violence across the Caribbean.
No longer must we just sit by and wait to see who's next. Because while we were waiting to see who's next, the person right next to you, the person right in front of you, or you might be next.
Speaking at the launch of the Pathway to Policy, Illicit Firearms and Public Health in the Caribbean, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander reassured that firm action will be taken to tackle the issue of gun violence in the Caribbean.
Only last year, 624 murders. 92% of that was with gun violence. So we have a first-hand view. Now that we are in the position where we can collect data on the policy, what we intend to do next is to implement strategy and strategic style arrangements for both prevention and protection of our citizens.
Minister of Health, Dr. Lakram Bodo, said gun violence is no longer just a security issue, but a public health crisis that is crippling our health system and affecting the lives of many.
At the Southwest Regional Health Authority, it is my information that 202 gunshot wounds have already been treated. So these are not mere statistics, they represent lives disrupted, as I said, families fractured and communities destabilized. Beyond the physical injuries, of course, violence leaves scars on the mind. There's the impact of depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety.
Executive Director of CARICOM Impacts, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Jones, said this joint publication should not only highlight a list of problems, but also give a sense of direction.
Pathway to policy sets out concrete, evidence-based recommendations on how to respond from stronger crime gun intelligence and tracing to improve stockpile management, to the integration of firearm injury data into national injury surveillance systems and trauma registries. It speaks to very practical questions that ministers and senior officials wrestle with every day. In short, this study gives us a pathway for research, from research to policy, and from policy to safer communities, if we choose to use it.
Pathway to Policy, Illicit Firearms and Public Health in the Caribbean is a research which provides critical insights into firearm-related issues and gives evidence-based recommendations for same. The session ended with a panel discussion from government officials and experts to build on lessons learned to ensure effective follow-up and implementation. Daniel John, TTT News.
Guyana is taking a major step toward greater economic inclusion for persons with disabilities. The Office of the First Lady, Arya Ali, has secured partnerships with several major service providers, GPL, GWI, ENET, One Communications, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union, to offer their services directly at the Center for Equity, Opportunity and Innovation in Palmyra. Each partner has also committed to hiring at least one person with a disability to manage its service kiosk.
What we're launching today is one facility, but the center has already done a lot of remarkable work. The center has already launched a series of training programs in partnership with the Board of Industrial Training, and I'm advised that almost 100 persons have already been trained. Persons living with disabilities have already been trained in a wide range of areas and are producing goods and services in a wide range of areas with the new skills that they've acquired. This latest initiative is, of course, an addition to that. And what you see here is, of course, the presence of various utility companies, telephone companies, internet companies, water, electricity, remittance agencies. I believe 1 or 2 remittance agencies are here. This is the latest addition to what this center is offering. And what it offers is not only a one-stop shop where people can come and enjoy easier access to services. Every single citizen of Guyana can come in, walk through these doors, come in here, and have access to a full-service desk from every single utility company. That alone is a remarkable achievement. There are very few places where you can enjoy this kind of convenience. And then on top of that, every single one of the companies participating in this initiative has committed to employing at least one person living with disability to man their full-service station.
This is not just a facility where persons with disabilities will be employed. and persons will be able to access services. What we need to consider is that very often persons with access challenges, those individuals that use wheelchairs and so forth, are unable to go to most of the existing facilities to pay their bills, to make a query, or to collect their overseas remittances. They have to send someone with an authorization. Now they can do so in a facility that is fully accessible. And that's a plus that a lot of us probably didn't think of. That we're going to provide the employment and the service here, but it's also in a facility that is very much accessible. This here ensures that persons with disabilities that were employed here, they now have permanent employment through these companies. And I hope it's a start, and most of these companies here are private sector agencies. And I hope other private sector entities will see this and ensure that they too can come on board to employ more persons with disabilities.
In sports, we put the spotlight on football. We begin locally. Mount Pleasant Football Academy are Caribbean champions for the first time in their history, capturing the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup on Tuesday night. The St. Anne-based club held a 1-0 lead from the first leg and battled to a 2-2 draw against O&M FC of the Dominican Republic, winning 3-2 on aggregate. Second half goals from Warner Brown and Tyreek McGee sealed the title, making Mount Pleasant only the second Jamaican club to lift the trophy. The win adds to Coach Theodore Whitmore's growing list of achievements and sends Mount Pleasant straight into the round of 16 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, with a possible showdown against Lionel Messi's Inter Miami. Despite O&M going down to 10 men early, they twice took the lead, but McGee's 88th minute strike ensured Mount Pleasant's place at the top of Caribbean football. It was a confidence-boosting result for the players of the Trinidad and Tobago senior women's football team, who defeated Barbados 5-0 in their opening CONCACAF women's qualifiers on Monday. Adrian Lazar has the full highlights from Trinidad and Tobago's opening Group F match in Bridgetown.
Trinidad and Tobago's quest for a spot at the 2027 FIFA World Cup began on Monday when they marched into the Kensington Oval, where they met Barbados in their opening CONCACAF W qualifier Group F match.
On all yellow from left to right.
TNT got the game's first goal when KD Johnson's save header was turned in by captain Kenya Cordner. Cordner scored what was her 40th goal in national colours.
Header by the star player herself, Kenya Cordner.
The home team went in search of an equaliser when Acacia Small found Rihanna Cyrus, but her effort was tamed. TNT went in 1-0 up at half-time.
Minutes in the books. Trinidad and Tobago.
Cordner almost scored a second after the resumption, but a left-footed strike went high over the goal. It was a quiet second half until KD Johnson's powerful strike from way out caught the Barbados goalkeeper off her line.
Drive. Oh, what a strike!
Second half substitute Ariana Borneo scored an equally special goal with an amazing curling strike. 3-0 the score. The floodgates opened as Aaliyah Prince went on a dazzling solo run to make it 4.
Prince! 4-0!
After earning an indirect free kick, Laurel Romaine rounded off a 5-0 win for Trinidad and Tobago, who left Bridgetown with all 3 points.
Down once again. And the 90 minutes is over. Trinidad and Tobago, 5 goals to the good over Barbados.
Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.